Hey, I'm Missy.
And I'm April.
And this is SheelaNaGig. Hey everybody, welcome. Thank you for listening. We are delighted to be back and we're so happy that you're here with us. Each week we explore our own SheelaNaGig. For us, that's a woman whose strength and perseverance has empowered us, has led her to greatness, who inspires us. It could be somebody you've heard of.
Or somebody you haven't.
Or, maybe they just need a little more light. We don't retell their story. Sometimes there's information out there that's not correct. We want to correct information sometimes.
Yeah.
We're deep divers, which we're very excited about. We get to interview some really great Sheelas as well, which is happening today. We're super excited. I'm going to give a little intro to what's going on here today. Basically, we have a wonderful actor and director from an upcoming play, which we're going to tell you about right now. Two free-spirited women solve mysteries and kick butts in Ms. Holmes and Ms. Watson. Apartment 2B by Kate Hamill. This play receives its LA premiere at the International City Theater in the Long Beach Convention Center. That's October 17th through November 2nd. I'll tell you a little bit about this play. It's a fast-paced and wildly entertaining comic escapade. It offers a twist, though, on Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's famous detective series. When Joan Watson becomes the reluctant roommate of kooky Sherlock, just don't call her Shirley, Holmes, she also becomes Holmes' de facto partner in crime solving. Together, they stumble out of the pandemic-era malaise of a hilarious, codependent, endearingly off-kilter, odd couple adventure duo who careen pell-mell from caper to caper until eventually they meet their match in a supervillain who might even be more clever than they are. Today, we have director Amie Farrell joining us, as well as lead actor Cheryl Daro. Yay! Welcome, ladies.
Yes,
we're so excited to have you both here. I always like to start out with where are you both from and where do you both live?
I'm Amie. Yeah, I'll go first. I grew up in Kansas City, Missouri, big old Midwestern girl. I love my steak and potatoes. I went to boarding school in Northern Michigan at Interlochen, an arts boarding school. Are you from Michigan?
I am.
Where?
And I attended Interlochen for a short time as well.
Oh, you didn't? Oh my God,
yeah, I'm from Detroit, but
Okay.
we have a cabin up in Traverse City right by Interlochen, which we still have. Yeah. Oh my God, what a small world. You were an Interlochen student.
Yes, I was. All 4 years of high school, I went up there. It was my summer over the rainbow. I loved it.
What a wonderful, wonderful experience it must have been.
Oh my God. It really one of the best times of my life. It's a gift that I was given that because there was everything working against me getting there, but it was just a special treasure time in my life. And now I've gotten to go full circle because I teach Interlochen's online classes now for certification. And I teach those. So it's been really full circle to be able to give back.
I have friends whose kids go there, so I'll have to ask if they know you.
Yes, I love it.
It's such a small world. Like, I spent my summers as a child. My mom was a musician, and she would take me to endless musicals, and we'd watch the ballet dancers practice, and we'd go just walk around and listen to the horn player. We'd spend days on end. And and when she died, then we asked all our contributions went to Interlochen, actually, because she was like such a special place for her and for us. So this is an amazing connection.
I love it. It's beautiful.
Where are you living now?
So I live in Los Angeles now. Yeah, I lived in Chicago for a while, and I lived in New York for a while, but I've been out in LA for about 20 years now, raising my family. I've got a teenager going through all that, and now I'm here. Yeah, that's my journey.
Oh my God, what part of LA are you in?
I'm on the west side. I'm in Mar Vista, which is like kind of right between Santa Monica and Venice. Yeah.
And how old is your teenager?
She is 14. She's glorious, and she's living a full 14-year-old life.
Gotcha. I got it. I have a 12-year-old daughter and a 19-year-old son.
Oh,
so I get it. I'm totally.
And 22 and 21, and at 14, my daughter didn't talk to me for years.
Oh,
yeah. She's always telling me, because my daughter's in those early stages of, adolescence, and, she's always like, don't worry. It's temporary. I'm like, oh my God, this is killing me.
I know.
Is she your only child?
She is. We are one and done. One
Yeah,
and
and I don't
done.
blame you. I'm very happy that we actually have a birth child and an adopted child, but and I'm very happy for that. It was good for our family. But I used to have a friend who'd say, you have one, it's one thing. You have two, you might as well have five. And I'm going to say that's true. I'm going to say that's true. But,
Although I don't have five.
I don't have five, but some days I feel like it. But I
Right.
right. Well, that's awesome. And she's also lived in New York.
Yes, you
April's a
lived
New Yorker.
born in Brooklyn. Yep.
Yep.
Wonderful. I
Yep.
love Brooklyn. Oh, love
Well, I have to say, when I was born there, nobody loved Brooklyn. Brooklyn got discovered somewhere while I was out here.
Right. Yeah. Now it's very popular. Cheryl, how about you? We got to talk. Tell us about you. Where are you from?
I was born and raised in the Bay Area. So I grew up in San Jose, California.
Yep.
Lived there until college, went to school in San Francisco, started at an art college in graphic design and visual arts, and then decided that I wanted to pursue acting after that.
That's interesting.
So I ended up moving to LA for 10 years. Did not like that and moved to New York, actually. And I actually finished my training at Atlantic Theater School in New York. They're conservative.
Oh, wow. Fabulous.
Yeah.
New York for some time. I'd like to say that I'm a city girl through and through. LA, New York, San Francisco, those were kind of like my home bases for a long time. But recently I moved to Las Vegas. So I live in Las Vegas.
Yes.
Part-time in LA and part-time in New York. The dream,
Love it.
Will, of as an actor.
Yeah. Best of all worlds. Yeah. No, I saw in your resume, I was curious about that because I'm like, Las Vegas. Yeah, Las Vegas is a very cool city. I actually like it very much.
It
And,
is. And it's very much up and coming in terms of community. There's a lot of, transient kind of entertainment that goes through there. But since my husband and I moved there 10 years ago, or gosh, is it 10 years ago now? Something like that.
Yep.
We have found that the community is quite unique and special, and it is a lot of families, a lot of just like gig workers, a lot of people who
Yeah.
community are wonderful. And my husband and I are quite deep in that community. As of right now, we do a lot of charity work and we give back and just to support the entertainment community in Las Vegas. And so it's very near and dear to us.
That's great. That's great. I was a touring musician up until I was 38. I was on the road, and Vegas was one of our favorite places to play. And I couldn't believe what a supportive music scene and art scene they had. I mean, they had all these events, and I was so impressed, and everybody was so supportive, which is why we were there. We were there a lot, and I was so impressed at that time. And granted, that was like over 20 years ago, but very special city, which I don't think everybody gets to see because I think people are kind of centered around the casinos and that kind of thing. But you go out to the fringe, you go out to the outside, and it's pretty amazing, I think. Yeah.
Like when people talk about Vegas and they ask, oh, you live in Vegas, that must be crazy. And I always say to them, no one lives in Times Square. So people are going to Times Square. I don't live in Times Square.
Yeah, it puts perspective.
And it's just like a completely normal neighborhood, wonderful thing. And another really great thing about Vegas is that the entertainment community is tight because it functions like a small town. So it's actually quite intimate to live in Las Vegas. You'll know everybody within a year. And that's probably what kind of adds to that very supportive community in that city. So
that was definitely our experience too. Like we made so many friends, and like everybody knew each other and supported each other. And they'd say, "Come crash on our floor. Come stay with us. Come in, we'll make you a meal." Like everybody was like, and I'm from the Midwest, originally from Michigan, like we talked about. So for me, it was like, this is so welcoming and warm. I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, my husband it's funny is that this Michigan thing, my husband is from a town called Sault Ste. Marie.
Oh, yeah. Sault Ste. Marie. That's in the UP up here.
It is.
You guys can't see what I'm doing right now. Yes.
Missy could be an ambassador for Michigan.
I'm what is it? Michigander is the word?
Michigander. Yes, Michigander. That's it.
Yeah. My husband is from Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. He's the Canadian side, but
he's on the Canadian side. Okay.
He can like throw a rock and hit the United States. And he spent lots of his time there. His mother's family is also from Windsor, which is
I love Windsor.
Detroit area.
Yeah, that's where we always went to drink.
Yes,
because When I lived there, the drinking age in Ontario was 18 and it was 21 in Detroit, but you would just go across the border.
Across the
It was
river,
always like code. You would just say, I'm going to Mother's Pizza. That was always the code for like, we're going. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, while we're on the Michigan
Yes.
theme, my husband's from Michigan, and I don't call them Michiganders. I call them Michiganers. Sorry.
Oh, well, they are a little crazy. I know a little.
That's because she's a fudgy. That's because she's a fudgy. Do you remember fudgies? That's what they call tourists in Michigan.
Oh yeah, up at Mackinac Island, right?
Yeah, it comes from Doug Murdoch's fudgies.
Oh,
So
my
they are
goodness.
fudgies. Yeah. Oh my God, that's so funny. Do you have any children or fur babies?
I have fur babies. I've had 3 fur babies currently. We have one little Jack Russell Chihuahua. She's 11. And then we have a Doberman who
My
we
goodness.
rescued, and she is 8. And then a little mini golden doodle who is hilariously funny. And he's 6.
Your house?
We
Play with your dogs? They sound
yes,
amazing.
please come over. They would love it.
Yay, yay. Well,
delightful.
I know I could talk to you gals all day, just conversationally. Like, this is so much fun. But
But we're getting back on track.
so we're going to talk first to Cheryl, actually.
Yeah.
And we're going to.
Just to kind of give a little overview of your background, you're a first-generation Filipino-American actor and producer,
Yes.
and you are off the world premiere run of Shakespeare-Titus Andronicus at the Rochester Fringe, where you reprised your role as Timora, Queen of Goth, or Queen of the Goth, right?
Yeah. It was.
And some of your favorite roles, I understand, are Claire in Proof at Central Square Theater in Boston, and Gigi Van Tran in the world revival production of Miss Saigon at the Tony Award-winning Signature Theater in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
And also Madeline True in the Wild Party at Stages Theater in L.A.
That was
Yay.
fun.
And you're also, as you mentioned about your husband and yourself doing some real philanthropic work in Las Vegas, you are the co-creator of Monday's Dark, which is mondaysdark.com, and have raised over 2.6 million for Las Vegas organization.
Yay.
You're also a proud member of Actors Equity, and you can follow Cheryl at her journey on Instagram at Daro, Seedaro.
Yay, welcome. And you are very versatile. Obviously,
Yes.
you're a singer as well as an actor, correct?
An advocate.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
So that's fabulous.
And so I guess we'll just kick off with, some questions about this play, which we're going to see. We're so excited.
We can't wait.
I mean, it's right up our alley in the SheelaNaGig podcast to take this very prevalent,
Male theme
yes.
concept and turn it on its head and make it feminine, or feminist.
Yeah. So we were really excited when we got invited. So yeah. But I just want to ask you, Cheryl, just thinking back to like what I know about Watson, that patient, kind of modest voice of reason. It's for April. I'm a little more like Sherlock. I'm going to say she's a little bit more like Watson. Yeah. So obviously you're dealing with these eccentricities of Sherlock. So how much like this character are you in real life? I'm just curious about that dynamic and yeah.
Oh my gosh. A lot, I want to say.
Okay.
Very similar to Watson in so many ways. And I was saying to Amie maybe like last week or a couple of weeks ago about how casting was so good for this show. It's so perfect. I find that there's definitely similarities in terms of how to deal with the chaos and kind of I don't know. I would say Watson is patient. Watson in this show is a little spicy. She I think lives within this yin and yang of Holmes and Watson, but 100% the way that she has been written is a wonderful take on the original character of Watson in such a wonderful way, and really bringing in kind of more of that like feminine energy. It is so awesome to kind of, I don't want to give anything away, but I do want to say that she is very grounded, very real. She has a nice playfulness to herself, and her journey within this play is actually very, very similar to kind of life. I said it the other week. It's funny how my life imitates art and art imitates life, and plays or roles come to me at certain times in my life where I'm feeling like, oh, this is an expression of actually who I am at this moment in this world that's on stage. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful piece. And then in the world as well, speaking of the kind of post-COVID, like coming out of that pandemic, it really does touch on a lot of things that I think we all are or had dealt with during that time. And it's kind of nice to reflect back on that time and bring that back to life a little bit and put a lens on that. So
Sure.
I will say, yeah, I joke that when I read the play, the first description of Joan Watson is I read it and I was like, oh, but that's exactly what I wear in real life. So when I went in for the callback, I was like, but this is actually what I wear. And what she is doing physically in the show is literally what I'm currently doing right now this year.
Right.
I think art finds people where they're at, and it's a wonderful privilege to be able to kind of be a part of it. And
That's well put. Art finds
great.
people where they're at. I like that. It's true. And I think you're right. I think you're right about that. And when you were saying earlier that you started out as a artist and designer, I thought that my mind did this little like, oh, that's interesting. Because in my mind, I think of that as very introspective almost. And then I think of being an actor a little bit more, a little bit more out there. And so it's interesting because perhaps that serves you really well. I mean, obviously you said that this Watson is a little more spicy, which I love, but I love that you have that yin and yang, as you said, and I'm sure it serves you well in this role. It's interesting.
Yeah, I'm curious to know as an actor, and I love this. I love the process. Like, do you have a process when you're preparing for a role? Is it just organic, or is there anything you do to kind of put yourself there?
Yeah. What's brilliant about training as an actor, and this is craft, right? Like I'm a student of the craft, which is everything, because it is preparation. It is something that is personal. You have to kind of discover it yourself. But the process for me is really starting from the page. And that was kind of what my school is about. My school was about taking what was the writing and really getting into that, finding the clues, pulling that off the page, and then being able to put it into practice in your body. And this process has been very quick and just like the show, fast paced, like get on your feet, like let's throw it all together. Let's see what the energy is like. And Amie has done a really wonderful job of making the playground happen, as she says, which is such a great way of like framing a play. So the process of this particular play was really building the structure, and also as an actor, building the structure within yourself to allow yourself to get off the page and be free, right? Getting off the book, getting the blocking. But then really, once you're through that playground building, you then get to just be in the moment. And then that's also part of the process, is discovering what this relationship is between Sherlock and Watson. What is this relationship between my space and the time frame I'm in, right? So that really is unique to every play. But if you want to kind of like break it down, it's like learn the script, get your blocking, and then be in the moment, find out your relationships, and then have fun. And this play allows you just to have fun. The writing is excellent to adjust. It's so fast that you're, as an analytical person, which is what I am, 100%, why I completely relate to Watson. I'm like, I need structure and I need to know like what I'm doing. Here's my color coded calendar. It is forcing me in real life into a chaotic space that is very similar and almost identical to the world of the play. So as an actor, you just kind of got to go for it and push yourself out of the comfort zone, which is what Watson is doing all the time at Holmes. Right. Pushed out of her comfort zone every single time. And, we get to discover along the way how we support each other better within those spaces. So
that's great. That's great. Well put. I have another question, but I just want to clarify. You guys have a really quick turnaround with this play. Is that correct? Tell us about that.
I mean, yeah, Amie.
Yeah, it's really fast.
I couldn't believe it when Lucy reached out and told me the turnaround on it. It was like, we got to get these ladies in. We got to move our schedule around. And you're like,
Well, you would be surprised how much theater is really put together really fast. I think there's this idea that actors like, when you said, do you have an organic? I think it's like this idea that actors, we get to like roll around and morph, and it's all really fast. We have a union equity. There's only a certain allotted time you can have. And so it's very regimented. And so we have basically like 3 weeks. And that includes the last week is all the tech stuff, because this has, there's a lot of tech, all the technical things. And we rehearse 5 days a week. So that's, for 5 hours each day. So it's not a lot. It's really, and this is big.
I've done some acting in my day, and I could never have 3 weeks. That's so stressful just to hearing that. I could never have done that. And this is why I'm not an actor, because there's just no way.
Yeah. And especially being fast paced, I would think that would take a lot of like choreography and staging to just make it work. Yeah. So to just do it so fast is amazing.
Yeah. And it's a big, broad comedy. Comedies have to be, it's musical almost, like you have to choreograph these things.
Yeah.
So,
kudos
it's fun though. It's fun though. We like Cheryl said, I have the approach as a director, and I'm also an actor, but create the playground is my analogy. It's like, we're going to put the slide here, the swing set here, and that turny thing. What's that turnaround thing you do in the kids' playground?
Merry-go-round.
So we set those. Yes, we set those up in the beginning week, right? And that's sort of blocking the structure. And then we can play on that playground we've created in any way. Maybe one day Cheryl decides to sit on the slide the entire time. And then the next day she slides down the slide and runs across and jumps on the swings. But if it's all structured, you can play within that. And that's the way actors also, I think, keep it alive and time.
That is such a great framework. I love the way you put that. It's great. And I was curious, because the question I have for both of you, again, we love this adaptation of this classic with women. So how do you feel about like how being a woman lends itself to this play?
Well, I think being a woman lends itself to everything in the world.
Yes, it does.
So the interesting thing that we as women get asked all the time is that kind of perspective of like, well, what is this as a woman? What is this? Well, how can a woman, and it's like, well, it is, we're all freaking people, and this is what we're doing. And we've been doing it. If we look at like historically represented, no, we haven't seen this kind of relationship of Sherlock and Holmes, this iconic duo with a female lens. And I think that is exciting and fun to look at. I think that there's something very special that happens when women come together in community. And this is, throughout history, right? This isn't a new concept. There is something in the female community and the female connection that is unique, and that we get to really explore both the beauty of that, this friendship that these two create that is very deep and very complicated. And through their connection, this power arises. And also through play. I think women are really good at managing a playful, proactive, fluid way to move through things. And so I think that's a different way. That's why, like Watson, you had said earlier, is often known, the male version of Watson is very analytical, and he's the writer, and he's sort of grounded and quiet, and the one that, but our Watson is a spitfire. And then what Cheryl brings to it is even more of a fun spitfire. And she's really the heart. So our Joan Watson is really the heart of the play, the heart, the emotion, the connect, she keeps pushing everybody to connect. And then we've got Holmes has got this insanely wonderful brain that isn't just like facts and figures, which I think is somehow a lot how the iconic male Sherlock is like fact, figure, fact, figure.
Yeah.
But our Holmes that Sarah Walter plays, who's fabulous, is very much all of that, scientific, mathematical, but in that creative way, in that fun, sparking, all of a sudden she's like a 2-year-old having a tantrum in a fun, crazy way. That kind of,
I can't wait.
Female. So I think that's a fun side that in our whole feminist journey right now, where we are in the world of trying to be seen more, is that it becomes this fight, which exists for sure. But to uplift the side of like, but women have a really freaking good time doing whatever we
I
want
love
to.
it.
Like you get a group of women together, we have a mission, we'll get that mission done, and we'll have some really great cocktails while we're doing it. And we'll have like some fun, and we'll look really good doing it too. So like, it's like, I think there's something women can like spin a lot of plates.
Yep.
That's
I agree.
awesome.
Do you want to add to that, Cheryl?
Yeah, I mean, yes, everything that Amie is saying is leaning in on the fun element, the fluid element. I absolutely love that. I think what's really cool about this version of it and what women versions of this can get away with is not just this linear or like kind of logical version of whatever these characters are, but with the female energy in it, we're allowed to really explore the relationship and maybe like kind of poke fun at certain things that we all go, wait a minute, is that what I think it is? Is that what I think it is? And this, again, the play is written in this way where it's just like, oh, it is this way. And women can kind of be that voice and say, it's okay if it's this way. It's okay if maybe this relationship is in a certain way, or maybe it's not identifiable, or maybe it is. And I think that's really wonderful to be able to explore the relationship of Sherlock and Watson, where I think that we get a little bit more of the storytelling between them. I like the standard version of it, the traditional version of it. But I think in this version of it, you can explore more about who they are and how they work and what makes them tick. And that is actually really fun to play with in this particular version of the show. And I think also speaking on just like women in general, they can do the job. I don't think that this is a female version of Sherlock and Watson's story. It's just an adventure story with some really cool characters in it. And I feel like, oh, it's like if women were this person, it's like, no, we are doing this job.
We are doing
solving
this.
the problem. This is how we would do it. It's nice to be able to kind of feel like this is our story rather than a version of a fantasy world of what it would be like. I feel like, no, this is a realistic adventure crime solving duo that in this story realistically solved the crime, being women. Like that's what it was. It took what we did to solve the crime. And I just think that's really fun. It's a lot of fun. It's a cool.
Yeah, it sounds amazing.
It does sound amazing.
Cheryl, you may have answered my question, but I'm going to ask it anyway because I just want to make sure. Is there anything that you are hoping specifically that audiences leave with from your performance?
Oof. Watson gets a beautiful second chance in her space, in her world. And that second chance is not granted by Sherlock. It's granted by the support of Sherlock, and she grants it to herself, I think is what, and you will, I guess that was very vague.
No, that's intriguing.
It is. I think so too. And I know you're trying not to give it all away too. So yeah.
It's such a fun story and it is an adventure. But what I want to say is, we talked about how Watson is the heart of this story. And, it is funny that I arrive at this just chaotic space of eccentric people like everywhere, which is kind of what I feel like maybe coming back into life after COVID would feel like. It's just like, oh, where do I belong? Right? Where do I belong? And I know that throughout the journey of this story that it is not through isolation that we can like solve the problems. Like, oh, I can figure this out myself. It is really through experiencing the heartache and the pain and the joy and the laughter and the love and this and that we go, oh, right. This is how we solve the problem. And it does take the duo of, Sherlock and Watson to discover within each other that together they're greater. So I feel like the connection that Amie really wants to kind of push through is like the theme of this piece is very well supported in that. And so I hope through the performance that people get that. They feel like, like the connection and kind of like that idea that together we'll get through it, I think is. And we'll have so much fun doing it because I love
that. I love that. And let's pose that same question to Amie. Just what you want audiences to leave with.
Yeah, I mean, I think Cheryl definitely covered a lot of it, but I think that it's a twofold thing of I think that when I read the script the first time, I thought, oh my God, this is so funny. The writing is witty, it's smart, it's complex, it has multi-generational, multicultural, multi-identity stuff all within it so that everyone, it's not just a play for women. Just like feminism is not just for women.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, this is a very good point. Yes.
Right? Or
Yes.
any of these things, anything,
Hear us, listeners. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's for everyone. And I think everyone can see themselves in this play.
Yeah.
And I think that's a beautiful thing. But for me, what really struck me about the play was that it's about connection. It is about friendship and connection. And I think we need that. All humans need that always. But right now in the world we live in the culture we live in this country, in the world, to have conversations and to be able to, that these mismatched pieces can fit together to create a beautiful picture. It may not be the picture you think it should be, but we can fit together and create something really cool. And like Cheryl said, have a kick butt time doing it. Like, we can all have some fun together, guys. The world is challenging right now. I don't want to ignore that at all. But at the same time, I think comedy is such a powerful way to deal with bigger, challenging issues in the world. And so
Yes, for sure.
I hope that people have a really good time, number one, and laugh and feel like they can let go and escape and enjoy this solving mysteries and laugh and be silly together. But at the end of it, maybe a couple days later, have a thought about like, yeah, wow, those people were really different and weird. And, they all did something together and created something together and solved problems together,
I love
So I think that connection and togetherness, I hope, translate. We have this beautiful cast that is multi-generational, multi-race, culture, identity. We have Cheryl and Sarah play Holmes and Watson, but then we have two other fabulous actors who play all the other characters. So that's fun in and of itself. Brian Stanton. Brian Stanton and Tamara Graham play all the other characters, and they're so fabulous. So
that's great.
It's just a good old time too, I hope.
Yeah. Well, I'm so intrigued and so excited. Everything you're saying, I just cannot wait. I cannot wait.
Right.
And Amie, we want to talk a little bit about you and give you, a little light here now. I understand you are an actor, a director, and an intimacy coordinator, which I can't help. I was going to say I can't help it, but I do want to hear a little bit about that for sure. And that your career has spanned across our country. Your acting credits include Oscar-nominated films Mank with David Fincher and Clint Eastwood's American Sniper. For television, you have been in This Is Us, Grey's Anatomy, Criminal Minds, iCarly, Raven's Home. Wow. And you've also done a vast amount of theater, including but not limited to working at the Pasadena Playhouse, the Geffen, LA Shakespeare Festival, and Playwrights Horizons. So that's just, you are very well-rounded, obviously. It seems like you're both very well-rounded, actually.
Yeah.
But could we
go to the intimacy coordinator?
Okay. She's dying over here. She wants to talk about the intimacy coordination. And I do too, actually. So let's
talk about sex. Let's talk about sex.
Let's talk about sex. Everybody wants to always talk about sex, don't they?
I mean, it's how we all got here. But intimacy coordinating came to me pretty organically, which is kind of cool. I came up and was trained in the 80s and 90s, so I definitely saw a lot of things happening that were not okay in theater and on set. And I'm lucky that I grew up in a house and a world that I myself felt very powerful and very able to create boundaries and say no. But I noticed
your parents, right? Do you want to give a little shout out to your parents?
Yes, my parents, Carol Farrell. My mother, that is her name.
Carol Farrell.
I know we love Carol Farrell. What's not to love about Carol Farrell? And my father who's passed away, but was my huge inspiration, Danny Farrell. And my sister and brother, Angela and John. I think that
Wonderful.
and my grandmother was a big activist and a passionate woman, particularly of that era to be, so I really am grateful to all of that. But when I was in those situations where I saw other people not able to speak up or not not even knowing almost that something was going wrong. So the way that I've always approached my own acting, as well as I also teach acting and directing, is that creativity is basically we set these boundaries, like I talked about the playground, but boundaries, and then we play within the boundaries. And boundaries actually spur creativity, right? So intimacy coordinating started to come into the forefront of people needing it, and it just sort of organically, because I've always run my rehearsals that way, that we set up boundaries at the beginning, and then we play within those boundaries. Boom, we're done. You know, so that if we've put it out there, established it at the beginning, then there's a structure that when something gets hit up against, we deal with it, right? And so that aspect of intimacy coordinating seemed very basic to me. Like, here are the boundaries. We don't touch here. Everyone gets to say their boundaries. This is the language we use when we feel endangered or not sure. This is what happens. This is what doesn't happen. And now let's go and play creatively within that boundary. And, you know, there are boundaries throughout everything we do. If we're in theater, we can't just walk off the stage when we want to. There are lights and there's an audience. We know that. That's a boundary. As actors, there are lines. We have to say the words in that order. That's a boundary.
Sure.
You know, we don't think of it that way, but it's true. If you're on camera, you have to hit your mark, or you or you're not going to be lit. These are boundaries that we just automatically go, okay. So, you know, here's a boundary. Don't touch people where a bikini touches. Boom, we're done.
Yeah.
Right. I've never thought of it that way, but you're right. You're absolutely right.
But if you don't say it, if the boundary isn't put out there, then there's nothing to hit up against if something's pushed, right? So that's how I approach it. I like to create a safe space for all the artists to then take creative risks within. Got it. So, I mean, it just applies to acting and directing overall. It all kind of plays into each other, but I'm sure you're very good at all three things. But it's interesting for you to share your experience, because I'm sure all our listeners are like, I want to hear more about that. Because it is, it's a little niche. It's a little niche. It is. And then there is also the part of then, like, if there is a very intimate moment, let's choreograph it. And again, it's a 1, 2, 3. Let's block it out so everybody knows what's going to happen. As opposed to the old school ways, just like, go at it.
So when you talk about being an intimacy coordinator, are you talking about specifically in the performance realm to create safety for the actors, or does that expand outside of the theater?
When I'm hired as an intimacy coordinator for a play or for a television show or film, I am helping to create the safe space for everyone involved in that project. So as Cheryl will see, like at the beginning of every rehearsal, we do a circle up real quick. That's not just our actors, it's our stage manager, our assistant stage manager, it's the crew. Everyone should feel safe, right?
Yes.
So on a set, everyone should feel that they have that kind of safety net in there. It does go beyond the theater. I mean, in the sense that if something were to happen between like someone could come to an intimacy coordinator if there's something that's happening outside of the theater, if they're getting harassed or their boundaries are being pushed and they're not being listened to, we could address that. That's what it's more of the legal, and then you bring in HR and you have a whole, like, the other side of it. But definitely the intimacy coordinator should be there to be the objective person that everyone can come to. And then we can see what the next step should be.
I think it takes a special person to be.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, one of the things that I really get as you're speaking is that it sounds like just how you comport yourself comes from that framework. And the fact that you make it sound so simple and so basic and foundational is amazing. It's like, can you please write a book?
It's in the works now.
It's true. And I could talk about this all day, but I know you want to talk more about the play.
I do.
It's so funny because she's always the one that does this to me. She's always the one like, Missy, stay on track. Hey, we're digressing here.
It going down the wormhole.
So it makes me feel really good to be the one like, okay, we're going to keep it on track here. So
go for it.
But I do love hearing about this. I do. But Amie, obviously, you are an actor, you are a director, and an intimacy coordinator. How does it serve you in terms of, being a director, that you are all three of these things? I'm sure you bring more to the table than, the average director, because you do have all this experience. So do you want to share with us a little bit about that in terms of this play?
Sure. I think that, I mean, I would say that every director brings all of their own, whatever their experience and wonderfulness is. I'm sure someone who, I've worked with directors who are not actors and are fabulous too. But for myself, I think that well, first of all, I just love the process. I love the process of storytelling. I'm fascinated by it. I'm skilled and trained in it. I am curious to know more than I do. And so I think that the collaboration aspect of it is the fun part for me. So when I'm directing, I really am so excited about getting to know how each of these actors work and how can I help them bubble into their most creative place, because every actor is different. Some people have to cannonball in and do everything first, and other actors it's like, no, I got to take one step at a time to get there, so you got to like manage all that. But it's fascinating. I'm like, ooh, let's see how this person can do that. And then you got your designers, right? And it's like, okay, so this person, how do they work and how do they see it, and how can we collaborate to get to that end vision of how this story is going to emerge. So I really like to think of myself as like the leader of this incredible group of people, not the leader in that I'm saying this is how it has to be done, but the leader in like helping us all move towards the same end goal. But I do recognize it's really hard and it's a lot of work. And I want to give people space to play within that, space to make mistakes, because that's the only way we discover great stuff, right? Both the designers, the actors, the stage managers, everybody, like, let's all honor that. While also at the same time, I crave as an actor to have that space to be creative, but I also really crave a leader who's got a strong idea. Sure. I get really lost when I feel like the director's not on track and doesn't have like a strong through line though. So I try to balance both those things when I'm directing. I guess I'm also a very visceral director, which not all directors are. I'm very physical. Yeah. Cheryl can probably attest to that. I'm jumping around on stage all the time. I'm jumping up there or walking all around the theater space. Cool. But yeah, I don't know. I love it. I love every aspect of storytelling. And the theater is my heart. So I'm constantly curious and fascinated by, oh, well, how else could we do this? Or having
you seem like the perfect director with the perfect skills within a 3-week time frame, especially. I mean, I'm sure you're a great director no matter what, but 3 weeks, again, I bring this up, listeners, 3 weeks. Okay.
As an actor, do you feel too restrictive because you have such a holistic view of the entire process? But then it was interesting when you said that you're looking for the director to help rein you in as an actor. And that was fascinating to me. I guess it's more an observation than a question, but if you would like to elaborate on that, that was interesting. Wow.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I think it's really important that you can get a group of great actors to all get together and play together. But when we're creating a piece together, a play or whatever the piece may be, we need to all be moving towards the same storytelling goal, right? Creating a single world that we're all living in. I've seen so many films, TV shows, plays. It's one of my pet peeves, I guess, where there's a great actor, but I'm like, what world are they in? It is not the same as everybody else, or I'm like, where are we in this, right? Like, okay, I get that these are all interesting people and making good choices, but what the heck's going on? So I think that there is a purpose for a director. It's not just randomly, like if you take a group of like 2-year-olds and you put them in a room and you just sit in there and you say, play. Eventually they'll start to play. But if you put a group of 2-year-olds in a room and you say, sit in a circle, here's a ball, play, they will instantly start to play. So it's giving that structure.
Yeah.
And see where it moves. And then being open to, I came in with all these plans as a director, and then, it's not going that way though. Everyone in this whole journey is veering left a little bit. Well, let's veer left and see, what happens. So
I love it. I love your analogies, Amie. They're fantastic.
Your clarity. You get it fast.
No,
Which is
no.
impressive.
No, absolutely. So you've worked in so many genres too, Amie.
Both of you.
Yeah, that's right. Both of you. What am I saying? Both of you. I wanted to ask you, so I posed this question to both of you actually. Cheryl, let's start with you. What is your, I mean, do you have a favorite genre of like, you know, do you have a,
Oh, no. I think whatever the genre is, if the story is good, the character is interesting, and it also,
sure.
no. I think the biggest thing for me is really going to art pieces. No, it doesn't matter if it's a film, television show, theatrical piece, interactive, whatever I'm doing.
Mhm.
If it is something that really is a good piece of art, then I'm going to say that is what I would love to be doing. That is it. I'm attracted to that. My favorite genre of art, I guess, is a good story, is something with heart, is something that will make the audience go, come away from it and be like, I had an experience. And that really is good for a good comedy, a good drama, a good film, a good episodic, a good play, a good musical. And so if I can walk away from something and feel like I've felt something or I've experienced something,
Mhm.
that's my favorite.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, and that makes sense. And do you prefer theater to film? How do you feel about that?
I really prefer theater.
Okay.
It is an actor's medium, whereas film and television is more of a director's medium, in my opinion. And I say that it's more like you are within a frame of what is supposed to be seen around you. It's a moving picture, motion picture, right? Like I love what you need to do for each film and theater. It's a very different skill set for an actor. So if you're going to go into a film, a dramatic film piece, there's techniques to that. And again, as a student and like nerd of craft, I just want to like be really good at the craft of being a film actor. And I just want to know what the craft is of being good on stage and what we're doing, which is a really high comedy. It's awesome.
Right.
Right.
So,
Right.
you know,
It's
very
interesting you say that. I mean, I know we talk about the difference between your art and your craft. And
Yeah.
so, you know what I mean? Like sometimes, sometimes I, you know, I do something to pay the bills that maybe isn't like my favorite, but there's a
Yeah.
craft to it. Like I know how to do it, right? So it's kind of similar, I guess, in acting and kind of what you're saying in the way about the difference between theater and film, correct?
Yeah, I feel like also too, like in theater, it's you as an actor, you're able to follow the track of your character throughout the story, top to bottom. Whereas in
Right.
film, you're going to shoot the last scene first, and maybe the first scene.
Right.
Sure, sure.
Really have a scene partner, unless you're the lead or whatever, and you're there for 3 or 4 weeks or 6 weeks, whatever your shoot is. But if you're kind of a day player, whatever you're supporting, you're there for 4 days, your stuff is all shot within a week, and then you're out. And really the experience, the cathartic experience of like exploration in that character is not through you, it's through the director putting it together for the audience to watch.
Yeah.
Good point. Very good point.
Theater, right? Theater, I get to experience Watson at the top of the play all the way through to the end of the play. And I do get that resolution as an actor because I get to experience the moments that create, my journey all the way to the
Right.
end.
Right.
And so
Right.
that is when I would say, I really appreciate theater. I enjoy the process of that a lot more. I enjoy the journey of that every night. I enjoy experiencing Watson's journey differently every day, depending on what, the audience is doing, how I interact with Sarah that day or whatever it is. And that's wonderful. The live element is, I think, very important also in theater in general. Like let's experience live everything a little bit more. Coming out of pandemic, I think everyone numbed out because we weren't really connecting. And so
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you make a good argument for that, for sure, for your preference. Yeah.
so let's do that. But I do like them all. I do like them all, I will say, but preference.
Yes.
So it's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
How about for you, Amie? Any particular favorite genre or?
I mean, it is hard, right, Cheryl? I love them all, and I feel blessed when I can jump around in all of them because it's just, I mean, like you mentioned earlier, doing films like Mank and American Sniper, I feel very privileged to those stories, like particularly American Sniper, was just personifying and sharing a very intimate, dramatic story. It was very connected. We had the real people on set that it was based on, the real military guys. And so there's a beauty in that, and that real deep, dramatic, like digging in thing, and a film that's fascinating. But then the comedy is such a beautiful, I do think, I guess I am most interested right now in the ways we can tackle conversations and issues. So there is something to comedy or like sci-fi or things like that where we can have an into conversations for our audience that isn't blatant, especially with where we are right now culturally. I feel like it's so polarized. So I am interested in platforms that allow us to heighten things so we can actually maybe really talk about things, you know? But in general, I love all of it. Like Cheryl said, I think it's all worthy, all great. I definitely push for keeping live theater, live events. We need more interaction with other humans that is in person and not on our boobity boop devices. And there's something magical about sitting in a dark space with other people and sharing the same story, the same experience with the person next to you, with the person 3 rows behind you that you don't know, but humanly experiencing it together. That is very, very special. So but right now, come out to live theater. Come see the play.
Yeah, come see the play, everybody. Everybody is invited. We're going to post that information.
Miss Watson, Apartment 2B by Kate Hamill. And that's again at the Los Angeles premiere at the International City Theater in Long Beach Convention, October 17th through November 2nd.
For more information and to purchase tickets, call 562-436-4610 or go to internationalcitytheater.org, internationalcitytheater.org. And discounts are available for students and seniors if you're interested. Yep. So come on out. Don't let anything stop you from seeing an awesome play. I think there's some nights are more discounted than others as well, if I'm not mistaken. So
there's a couple. Yeah, there's discounts in there for all different sort of groups of people. And like I said, I mean, I think like my daughter is going to come see the play. Like all ages are welcome, and there are ways for everybody to get to the theater. There's discounts for union members and other things. So call and ask. If you want to come see it and you can't quite afford it, give a ring and tell them what the sitch is and see if they can help you out. We want
exactly. People are so afraid to pick up the phone. That's why I wanted to lead with that phone number. Like pick up the phone.
Yes.
Is there anything you guys want to add before we wrap up here? This has been such a fun interview. I'm so excited to go see the play.
I know. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome.
Is there anything you want to leave us with or talk about?
Well, I think you two are fabulous. You guys are cracking me up. You're so wonderful, but so intelligent. And I looked at your guys' mission for this, and I love that the name comes from all of those pagan goddesses on the walls of Christian churches. I love the journey, and this play goes on it too. I tell Cheryl that Watson is our little warrior for hope and love, and I think all of us women, we're all there in it together, and let's just keep gathering and figuring this thing out. So I love that you guys have this podcast to do that. I think it's such a great platform.
Thank you for your kind words. We really appreciate that. We love that we get to do this, honestly. We're very blessed. Yeah, for lack of a better word. We're very blessed. We are right? Blessed. Grateful. There you go.
And thank you so much, both of you. You've been such a joy to interview. And
for sure.
Yeah.
It's been great. It's been great. We're always a little nervous. We haven't met people, and what's the dynamic going to be, and how, and this was just so wonderful and joyful and interesting, and I loved it. So thank you.
Come see the play.
Yes. And come see the play. Right, exactly. Come see the play. And we're going to put all that information out there for you. So, and please, we welcome any questions or comments you have about the play, about this interview. If you, definitely get in touch with us, reach out. We like the conversation. We always welcome the conversation. So thanks for listening, everybody, and keep fighting.
Keep fighting the fight.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks so much, Amie and Cheryl. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Unabashed in your clothes.